Welcome back to the Strata Automation Technical Channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the proper way to set up your Max Master when using SLC with Strata controllers, as well as a common issue that I see people having when they don't follow these steps to set it up properly, and they're not sure why they're having issues changing the Max Master on some of our controllers. So here is a fresh file of SLC. I'm going to go ahead and log into setup mode, password lowercase s, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect. But before I do that, now that I've launched SLC, default is going to be checked automatic here, which means it's automatically going to set my Max Master to 127, which is default. And our address is going to automatically pick one. It's going to scan the network, get all the addresses, and then pick an address that's not currently being used by any of those controllers if it's available. So if I'm going to be setting my Max Master, I want to set this first before I even bring in any of my controllers and set up my project file and save my configurations to my computer. So for my network, I know that the highest address is 49. So let's say my Max Master is 50. You'll notice that if I set this Max Master right from the get-go and this address number is above it, when I click off, it'll put that back to what it was, knowing that the value is above this. So first I got to set the address. So I'll just pick an available address on my network, which I know is 50, and then I can set my Max Master to reflect that as long as my address is within the bounds of my Max Master. And so now it's not fighting me on that, so I can go ahead and connect. Then I'll use my automatic discovery tool, which will bring in all my controllers and all my points. Now that all my points are brought in, I can see on all my controllers on the device config here, the Max Master, which is here. And so I've set my Max Master to 50 here, and so now I should have no issue going in to all my controllers here, setting the Max Master to 50 and hitting send device config. And everything is awesome. It's not fighting me on anything, just accepting these changes that I'm making, no problem. So then after I've done this and I've gone into my app config, configured all the controllers on my network as I see fit, I'm good to go ahead and save my project and be on my way. So that's the proper way to do things. Now I'm going to cut over and I'll show you an incorrect way that I see some people doing things where it's not necessarily obvious where they're making a mistake without knowing the proper way to do things. So the first mistake I see people make as far as setting the Max Master is that they're doing so at the end after they've gone through and configured everything and already connected to their network and saved their project file. And then they want to go back and make changes while connected. So here, if I click connect and I leave it as automatic, you'll notice that my address is 84. So that's the address it's going to give to my computer on the network. And then my Max Master is 127 as default, like I said earlier. So if I go ahead and connect, there's going to be no issues yet. I'll discover all my controllers, bring those in. And then I go through and I configure everything as I'd like. Everything's set up nice and perfect. And then I go ahead and save my project. Just overwrite this test one here that I have. And then let's say now I go back, it's the next day or later in the day, and I realize that, oh, shoot, I should have changed my Max Master down to 50 to reflect what it is on my network. And I don't go in here and I don't make any change. So I guess it changed my address to 56 when I connected. I picked a different one. But if this is above what I'm trying to set these as, so let's say I want it to be 50 like it was earlier, I set it to 50. I click send, hit yes, But you'll notice that over here, it reset this value back to 127 because my address is 56. So it won't let me set anything lower than 56. So that's one thing. It's kind of sneaky because it's hidden under this connection tab. It gives you the green check mark. So obviously you think everything's good, but that's just one common thing that I see people miss when they're setting this max master is they don't understand why it keeps resetting. You try again because maybe I made a mistake. But then you see it goes right back to that 127. Obviously you'll see if I set it to, let's say 60, which is above that address, it'll take it. It's fine because it's, it knows that this address here is below the max master. So it's not going to fight me. I can go 57, fine, 56, fine, but then 55, and it goes back up to 56. As you might expect, without once you know the fact that the address of the net or the PC on the network here is 56. The other mistake I see, the problem people have is very similar. So let's go in here and I want to go back and I want to make changes to this project file that I've been working on. Go ahead and connect. This time I go, okay, I know that I can't use automatic. So let's set this, I know address 10 is open, so that should be fine. And then my max master, I know I want that to be 50. Perfect. I'll go ahead and connect. Now that I'm connected, you can see my address here, 10, max master 50. But if I go in here and I try to lower this to 50, the same thing happens. It bumps me back up to 127 what it was before. And that's because the way that the software works when you save stuff, it doesn't like when you go back in and try to make changes sometimes, in the max master specifically. So to rectify this, if I already had everything configured, what I could do is I could create a new, so I would keep this saved and I would just create a new project. But what I would recommend is open up a new window of SLC and just copy over all my configurations. That's going to be the easiest way to do that. So the best way to do things is configure your max master properly directly from the get-go when you're first setting up all your configurations in your project file, rather than go back later. It's just going to cause some unexpected issues, especially when you're, at the end of the project, when you're trying to get it finished up. Hiccups like this are something to try to avoid if you can. So I recommend going through right at the beginning, and if you have the right information, to set that up right from the get-go. But that is going to be all for this video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.